Welcome to the inaugural edition of what I hope becomes a weekly roundup of Star Trek news here on Kurtratz Productions, where I will bring you all of the news from Star Trek every week. So, without further ado, welcome to the Week in Trek. The new Star Trek series, premiering in January of 2017, is set to begin filming in Toronto, Ontario. According to a number of entertainment news sources, CBS has booked studio space in the Canadian city and is set to begin filming there in September of this year. If they follow through with this plan, this will be the first Star Trek series not filmed in the USA. In Star Trek Beyond news, new details about the plot have been revealed to Empire magazine by co-writer Simon Pegg. According to Pegg, Idris Elba's villain is an alien named Kral, who has a deep-seated distaste for the ideals of the Federation. Additionally, director Justin Lin had some interesting things to say about the film. This is the 50th anniversary. I felt like it was important to really deconstruct the idea of Star Trek, the idea of the Federation, and why it's special. We'll really be poking at a lot of different things. I have to say, after some initial trepidation, I'm getting pretty excited about Star Trek Beyond. I'm still a little worried about the direction the film seems to be going. However, some of these comments by people behind the scenes really have me intrigued. The Wrath of Khan is getting a facelift. Arguably the best film of the Star Trek franchise, Star Trek II The Wrath of Khan, the Director's Edition, is finally coming to Blu-ray. Set for a June 7th release, the Blu-ray will contain both the theatrical cut and the Director's Edition of this iconic Star Trek film. It will also feature a brand new, almost 30-minute documentary entitled The Genesis Effect: Engineering the Wrath of Khan. This new set is sure to be on my wish list for this year.
Books, young man, books, thousands of them. If time wasn't so important, I'd show you something. My library. Thousands of books.
Newly released this week is the original series novel Elusive Salvation by New York Times bestselling author Dayton Ward. I've really been looking forward to this one. It's a sequel to his novel from a couple years ago entitled From History's Shadow. Make sure to grab your copy either in ebook or paperback edition. Links in the description. Revealed this week is the cover to another Star Trek novel coming later this year, Captain to Captain by Greg Cox. Captain to Captain is the first book in a new trilogy celebrating the 50th anniversary of Star Trek entitled Legacies. This first novel features a mystery handed down to Kirk from the early days of the Enterprise under the command of Robert April. Also of note this week is an exclusive from US retailer Barnes & Noble, a collection of the original series episode adaptations by James Blish, collected in a beautiful hardcover edition. I'll be sure to include a link to that from Barnes & Noble in the description as well. And finally, another new cover was released this week, this one for a really fun one by Dayton Ward. The Hidden Universe Travel Guide to the Planet Vulcan. Highlighting everything a tourist should know about a visit to this arid world, this travel guide will prove invaluable for your next trip across Vulcan's forge. Be sure to pack your Triox compound. You can keep up with all the news in the Star Trek book world on my website, TrekLit Reviews, link in the description. And if you're into Star Trek books and comics, you should also check out the Literary Treks podcast on Trek FM. I co-host the show along with Matthew Rushing. We often talk to authors about the books they've written and cover all sorts of books and novels from all around the Star Trek universe. This week's episode is all about the Star Trek graphic novel Burden of Knowledge, and we're joined by special guest Bruce Gibson. Be sure to check that out, link in the description. Thank you so much for joining me for all the news in the Star Trek world this week. Be sure to check back every week for a roundup of everything Trek. Please like this video if you liked it, leave a comment, and subscribe if you'd like to see more from us.